Hello everyone! In this video I am going to show you what I learned about using tempera technique for the first time and some tips that might be useful for you as well if you want to try this technique. For tempera, use fresh eggs. Clean the egg yolk from all whites. You can even roll it on a paper towel. Use the tip of your fingers to pinch the skin and take the content out. The leftover eggshells are well used later to make a compost and bring more calcium to our garden. Add the same amount of water to the egg yolk. The ingredients should be 1 and 1. Add some vinegar drops into your mix. This will react as a natural preserver. While painting, you can close the lid of the jar. By the end of the day, you can preserve it in the fridge for until 3 to 4 days. You can smell it to make sure the mix is still fresh or not. As for paint brushes for tempera, use natural sable hair, the ones that are suitable for watercolor as well. In tempera, you will need powder pigments to mix it with the egg yolk and create your own paint. Start with a basic palette, the primary colors plus titanium white and raw umber, to create all the combinations that you will need. Here I am using burnt sienna, ultramarine blue and ochre. In the small jars I am using Indian red and cadmium yellow mixed with titanium white and raw umber to create some skin tones. You can mix the powder pigments with the egg yolk using spatulas and preparing the colors previously to applying them on the canvas. But as I discovered along the way, for me it was easier to keep the lids of the powder pigments opened and take them directly with the paintbrush as I needed. This was easier for me because the paint dried so fast and I needed to work quickly on some details. Every time you need to change colors, you can rinse your paintbrush in water. You won't be using water as a medium to paint, only to clean up your paintbrushes. If you add more water to the colors, the tempera won't support it. The paint can wash away, and when it's dry, it can become powdery and fall. If you add more powder pigment to the tempera than necessary, the paint can be rough, powdery and fall off too, as you can see in the white marks that shows the background when the paint fell off. To create glazings or translucent layers, it is better to use more egg yolk than pigment. Here you can see through the underdrawing lines. Tempera has a milky texture, and its color can be as dense as to cover the previous layers. You will learn how to control it the more you use it. When you apply a stroke, wait until it dries, or the paint can peel off. One of the ways to make sure that your tempera has the right texture is when it dries, and then you can clean it up with the spatula. The dried texture resembles a fine plastic film. Here I am using a glass palette. because it helps me to see the color better, and it is easier to clean than the ones made of plastic or wood. In truth, this palette is a magnetic glass board, but I am using it as a palette better. One of the things that I loved about tempera technique is that cleaning the brushes and materials is really easy, using only water and neutral soap by the end of the day.